What is it about discomfort that is so frustrating for the mind? Welcome to Enter Samatvam. This episode is a completely unscripted episode. I thought, why not just, record myself without any script, without any talking points, which I normally write beforehand to set a direction. But I wanted to challenge myself and see if I can comfortably talk to the camera, sort of like an extempore without any prior preparation, and you could even call it a solo podcast, if you will. What I wanted to talk about today was discomfort, or putting yourself in situations where you feel uncomfortable. We are often quite used to planning, structuring, and anticipating. That comes naturally to us. If we think about how life is completely unscripted, right? You don't know what is going to come in front of you, and you have no idea how you will be able to tackle it, and somehow you just manage to get through it. And that's why I feel the skill of putting oneself in uncomfortable situations is quite an important quality to be learned, to be improved on. Actually, as I am doing this specific video, I can see the places where I'm feeling uncomfortable within my body. My mind can already sense all the imperfect or filler words I'm using, and how it's not going in a direction that I would have expected it to. And so it's not really comfortable for the mind. And yet I know that after I've done this exercise, having done it will have some value than just not attempting to do it at all. And so I think we must prioritize putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations and seeing the patterns that come up to the surface when we do that. What is it about discomfort that is so frustrating for the mind? I think it has got to do with a certain feeling of incompleteness, I guess, from which arises that feeling of restlessness, of not wanting to tolerate that sensation of incompleteness. But when you put yourself through that experience of discomfort, often what happens is you start noticing this wasn't so bad after all. You learn to be okay with the sensations, underlying sensations that are coming up in your body. Any big project, any big problem that you actively take up, any initiative that you decide to go through with, when you see through the end of it, no matter how challenging it is, there is a certain feeling of freedom or sensation of freedom that comes up. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. And I think this feeling of freedom is nothing but the intuitive knowing that the thing that you thought was like not part of you, something that was making you feel incomplete, is ultimately also a part of you. It's not separate from you. And as you do these challenges, it is just a way for life to show you that you don't have any idea who you really are, and the things that you thought were impossible for you to do were actually always possible for you. And so that's why I feel it's extremely critical that we put ourselves through uncomfortable situations, at least in the beginning, until you start knowing yourself more deeply. And when you put in that effort to get to know yourself deeply, that's when things start to open up in life. That's when you really start living. But does that mean that we need to go and bungee jump tomorrow or swim in the oceans of, Hawaii or something? No, not really. I mean, it could be something as simple as, if you're used to just being a homebody, if you enjoy being at home and you don't really step out much, then it could just mean stepping out for a bit, maybe biking somewhere close that you had not done before. So even small changes like that, in doing something opposite of your daily routine, does matter, and it starts shifting your internal narrative slowly. And coming back to the example of shooting this video, for instance, I had never done this before, and I think I've spent almost a year creating videos now, and probably I should have done this starting day one, but better late than never, right? But I think now that I'm doing it, I can already see how much it is going to enrich my relationship with my camera, my craft, and how I make these videos. If you feel like there's a lot of blockage coming up in terms of fear of failure, or even fear of not getting things right, if you feel yourself stumbling a lot, then it's okay. Give yourself all the time you need, and remind yourself that the very fact that you showed up is a big deal. And slowly, when you keep encouraging yourself to do that, things start becoming easier and easier, and in no amount of time you start seeing how much you have accomplished. And you don't have to go by what other people are doing and what clock they are running on, because ultimately your life path is unique to you, and no amount of comparison or no amount of measuring where you are in comparison to others is going to take away from the fact that you need to put in the work where needed, and you need to have fun doing it. So that's why it makes sense to give yourself the time you need to encourage yourself, and to let yourself know that even if this is the worst video I ever create, even if this is the worst book I ever write, it's okay. It'll just be one of the books that I've written, right? There are so many other books waiting to be written by you, so many other videos, so many other artwork that needs to be created by you. So just think of it as one small step in a 10,000 step journey, if you will. And that's the biggest lesson that discomfort leaves you with, and that is that it's okay to take even a small step. It's okay to take as much time as you need to take that small step, as long as you attempt to do it. A lot of the times, I think discomfort, or the feeling of discomfort, is something we become averse to because we are conditioned to feel that way since childhood. And that conditioning comes from certain wrong ideas that have trickled down through society and through the interactions you have had, past experiences, and that really stores that aversion within our psyche, and that energy of aversion towards discomfort within our bodies. And that's where the lack of confidence, lack of comfort within yourself stems from. So ironically, I think that aversion to discomfort is what is keeping you uncomfortable within yourself. And that's why when you start taking these baby steps towards uncomfortable situations, there is a certain freedom that starts opening up within yourself. And the thing about discomfort is that it starts off like it's a big task, like as though you're pushing a boulder up the hill. But the moment you start, that boulder just becomes like a tiny stone that you can kick till the end of the field. And if you notice, that transformation is just in your head. So it's just transforming that belief that your mind has about a certain task into something that feels possible for you to do, for you to accomplish. And a good strategy, I think, to sign yourself up for some of these uncomfortable activities that you have always wanted to do but you have held yourself back and you have never done, is to first sign up for it, that is, say yes to it, and then figure it out later. Countless movies are just focused on this one fact, that is, the main character signs themselves up for an adventure or something that they never thought they would do, and in the end they end up really transforming their lives. And what I'm realizing as I'm doing this video is also that when I script certain videos, a lot of the times I'll have a lot of takes, and it's because I would have written certain parts of the script in a certain way, and I want to convey the message exactly with those words. I do love the poetry of language, but I guess as I'm putting myself through this discomfort of not having a script, going off the plan, not off the record, but off the plan, I think what I'm seeing is that it's so much similar to how life is. Like, yeah, you can have experiences that go exactly according to your expectations and you do feel good after that. But there is a certain charm to, when you have completely unplanned experiences and you end up having so much fun, right? So I think there is a certain beauty to having those unplanned moments, and not every situation in life can be unplanned. There are situations where you do have to plan, but I think there is something to say about bringing in a balance between the planned moments versus the unplanned moments. And the funny part is you can never plan for the unplanned moments. So I guess acceptance is where you sort of bring in that balance. And so I hope that you are able to take a chance on yourself and attempt to put yourself in uncomfortable situations without being afraid, because I know that you can do it, and one day you will know that too. I feel I've spoken enough on this subject, and hopefully I'll end up using most of it in the video. But this has been great. It's been nice chatting, and if you guys enjoy this kind of video, then maybe we'll make a series out of it. We'll see. But that's it for today, and I really hope you took something away out of it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.